The 2000 wide AM penny error stands out as a fascinating anomaly in the realm of numismatics, characterized by a distinct variation in the positioning of the letters A and M in the word America on the reverse side of the coin. Unlike its more common counterpart, the close AM variety, where the letters A and M are tightly spaced and nearly touching, the wide AM variety showcases a notable separation between the two letters. This subtle yet significant deviation has captured the attention of both collectors and enthusiasts alike, elevating the wide AM variety to a coveted treasure among numismatic circles. Now, what sets the wide AM variety apart is not only the increased spacing between the letters A and M in America, but also the positioning of the initials FG near the Lincoln Memorial Building on the reverse side of the coin. In contrast to the close AM variety, where the initials FG are situated further away from the memorial, the wide AM variety features these initials in closer proximity to the structure. This dual distinction adds layers of complexity and intrigue to the wide AM penny error, making it a subject of fascination and desire. Now, the origins of the wide AM penny error can be traced back to the production process at the US Mint in the year 2000. While the exact cause of this variation remains a subject of debate among experts, it is believed to stem from subtle differences in the minting dies used during the production of the Lincoln Memorial Cent that year. Variations in die alignment, striking pressure, and other factors may have contributed to the creation of the wide AM variety, resulting in a limited number of coins bearing this distinctive error. Due to its rarity and the intrigue surrounding its origin, the 2000 wide AM penny error has become a sought-after prize for collectors seeking to complete their collections or add a unique piece to their portfolio. The scarcity of this variety, coupled with its distinct visual characteristics, has propelled it into the spotlight of numismatic attention, driving up demand and value. As a result, examples of the wide AM variety on the 2000 Lincoln Pennies command premium prices in the numismatic marketplace, with collectors eagerly vying for the opportunity to acquire these elusive treasures. Beyond just its monetary value, this wide AM penny error serves as a testament to the intricacies of the minting process and the occasional anomalies that arise within coin production. Each specimen represents a unique chapter in the history of American coinage, offering a glimpse into the complexities of minting technology and the artistry involved in creating these small yet intricate works of art. Whether viewed as a rare collectible or as a symbol of the unpredictability of coin production, the 2000 wide AM penny error continues to captivate the imagination of collectors and enthusiasts worldwide. Now, once again, to identify the wide AM variety, you want to look at the positioning of the letters A and M in the wording America on the reverse side of the coin. For the wide AM variety, the positioning of the letters A and M should be spaced much farther apart than the close AM variety. Then you also want to look at the positioning of the initials FG near the Lincoln Memorial Building on the reverse side of the coin. For the wide AM variety, you want the initials of FG to be near the Lincoln Memorial Building on the reverse side of the coin, as opposed to the close AM variety where the initials FG will be situated further away from the memorial. Now, before we get into the value, some of the details and specifications. The 2000 Lincoln Memorial Pennies were designed and engraved by Victor David Brenner and Frank Gasparo. They have a plain edge, a diameter of 19.00 millimeters, a weight of 2.50 grams. The overall mintage figure for the 2000 Philadelphia Lincoln Memorial Cent is 5,503,200,000, so an extremely high mintage figure. Now, you are looking for the wide AM variety on the Philadelphia Mint Pennies, and they will actually not have a mint mark for the year 2000. And they are composed of copper-plated zinc. Now, in terms of this coin's value, if you find one of these on the low end, so it is pretty beat up, worn, and been put through the meat grinder, it will have a slight premium, but you are definitely not going to get rich off of a beat up example of one of the 2000 wide AM penny errors. If you are able to identify the wide AM and also the correct spacing of the initials FG on the reverse side of the coin, then I don't doubt that you could easily get anywhere from $5 to $20 for a low-grade example of one of these pennies, depending on how badly somebody wants this coin. Now, as we start to go up in the grading tiers, we see some pretty high price jumps, topping out at $800 for an MS68 example. If you were to find one of these and it scored any higher, you could easily be talking $1,000 coin or more. Now, one of your best chances of finding one of these and it scoring in that high grade state is probably from buying an uncirculated roll. That's not saying that you can't find 2,000 pennies that will score in the mint state range in circulation, but usually if you want to score above an MS65, you will want to pull these bad boys out of an uncirculated roll, and if you can score one for a decent price and identify some of these errors, you may just be able to turn a pretty good profit. A brief explanation of the 1995 double die obverse penny. The 1995 double die obverse penny is a highly sought after coin among collectors due to a unique and distinct double die error on the obverse of the coin. This particular penny exhibits an effect on the obverse side of the coin in the word liberty, creating a fascinating visual effect that sets it apart from other coins of this era. Finding and collecting error coins. Error coins such as the 1995 double die obverse penny hold great significance in the world of numismatics. They provide valuable insights into the minting process and serve as a testament to the ingenuity of human craftsmanship. Collectors are often drawn to these coins not only for their rarity and potential investment value, but also for the thrill of discovering and owning a piece of history that deviates from the norm. What we will cover in this video. In this video, we will explore the fascinating world of error coins and delve into the various types and causes of errors that can occur during the minting process. We will also discuss the factors that contribute to the value and desirability of these unique coins among collectors. Additionally, we will highlight some notable examples of other error coins throughout history and their impact on the numismatic community. An overview of the first penny errors in the United States. The first penny errors in the United States can be traced back to the early 19th century, when the minting process was still relatively new and prone to mistakes. One of the most notable examples is the 1793 chain cent, which featured a design error where the chain on the reverse side of the coin was depicted in a way that resembled shackles. This design was quickly changed due to public outcry, making it highly sought after among coin collectors. Another significant error occurred in the year 1909 with the introduction of the Lincoln cent, which featured the initial VDB on the reverse side. However, public backlash against the placement of the designer's initials led to their removal later that year. This modification resulted in a limited number of Lincoln cents with the initials, making them highly sought after by collectors. I've actually made a video about the 1909 VDB Lincoln cent in the past. If you guys would like to check that out, I will leave a link up in the top corner. Some other examples of famous penny errors throughout history include the 1955 double die obverse. Another notable error is the 1943 copper penny, which was accidentally struck in copper instead of the zinc-coated steel due to wartime shortages. These rare occurrences have become extremely legendary in the world of coin collecting, attracting enthusiasts and driving up their value in the market to crazy buku amounts of money. The impact of errors on coin collecting. The impact of penny errors on coin collecting has been significant. These rare and unique occurrences have sparked a great deal of interest and excitement amongst collectors as they add an element of mystery and rarity to their collections. The value of these error coins often skyrockets, making them highly sought after in the market. As a result, collectors are constantly on the lookout for these elusive and valuable coins, further fueling the passion and competitiveness within the coin collecting community. So what do you say we get into the coin that you guys are all here for, the 1995 double die obverse Lincoln cent? Now first, what is the definition of a double die? A double die error occurs when the design on a coin is imprinted twice, resulting in a distorted or overlapping image. The 1995 double die obverse Lincoln cent is a prime example of this type of error. This particular coin features noticeable doubling on the words Liberty on the obverse side of the coin, making it highly distinguishable from regular Lincoln cents. The presence of this error has made it one of the most sought after and desirable modern era pennies to search for among collectors and coin roll hunters, and its value has both soared and plummeted over the years. With some examples of this coin selling for thousands of dollars, the double die obverse error is a testament to the intricacies and complexities of the minting process and serves as a reminder of the potential for human error even in highly regulated systems. The 1995 double die obverse heir is characterized by noticeable doubling of the date and inscriptions on the front of the coin, making it highly distinguishable from regular Lincoln cents. Some of the factors that determine the value of this coin. Condition of the coin. The condition of the coin plays a significant role in determining its value and rarity. Coins that are in pristine condition with minimal wear and damage are considered more valuable and rare. Additionally, coins that have been well preserved and stored properly over the years tend to fetch higher prices in the collector's market. Availability in the market also affects the rarity of a coin. If a coin is scarce and difficult to find, it is likely to be more valuable and rare. On the other hand, if a coin is readily available and easily obtainable, its value may be lower. Factors such as lower or limited mintages, historical significance, and collector demand can all contribute to the availability of a coin in the market. Demand among collectors is another factor that can influence the value of a coin in the collector's market. If a particular coin is highly sought after by collectors, its price is likely to be higher due to increased competition and willingness to pay. Additionally, trends and fads within the collecting community can also impact the demand for certain coins, leading to fluctuations in their price. Some of my tips for finding rare pennies. Some tips for finding rare pennies, including searching through pocket change, attending coin shows or auctions, and networking with other collectors. One of the most tried and true methods in the United States especially is coin roll hunting. That involves going to your bank and ordering rolls of pennies, either individual rolls, or you can actually order a full box of $25 worth of pennies, and you can search through and maybe find some goodies inside. It is super important to educate yourself about the different varieties and errors that can make a penny valuable, as well as staying updated on the current market trends. Furthermore, storing and preserving rare pennies in proper conditions can help maintain their value over time. Now, one of the questions I get asked the most is, what do I do if I have one of these coins, and where can I make the most amount of money off of it? Now, the first suggestion that I have to make to you is that you get the coin authenticated and graded. The importance of authentication and certification when dealing with rare pennies cannot be overstated. Getting a penny authenticated by a reputable grading service adds credibility and increases its value in the market. Additionally, having a certified coin ensures that it is genuine and not a counterfeit, providing peace of mind to both collectors and potential buyers. Some of the most reputable and well-established grading services in the United States are PCGS and NGC. There's another grading service here in Canada, ICCS, and it is a great alternative if you are looking to grade your coins for an economic price. It can be a little pricey depending on how many coins you are actually getting graded and where you live and the shipping costs, so you definitely want to do some research and find out what is the best option for you. Another factor to consider is the long-term investment potential of rare pennies. While the value of rare pennies can fluctuate in the short term, they have historically shown steady appreciation over time. This makes them an incredibly attractive option for those looking to diversify their investment portfolio and potentially earn significant returns in the future. A quick recap. Rare pennies offer a unique combination of historical significance, scarcity, and potential financial gain. Their value is supported by their authenticity and long-term investment potential. Whether you're a collector or an investor, rare pennies can be a valuable addition to your collection. In terms of numismatic value, the 1995 double die obverse penny has unfortunately seen a slight price drop in recent years due to the discovery of many high-grade examples and uncirculated rolls, but it can still be worth around $10 even in some of the lowest grade conditions, with some of the highest grade examples selling for up to $5,000. This is a fairly rare and desirable modern era coin, and people want these things for their albums and collections to fill that spot, especially a nicer example if they can obtain one. My final thoughts on the value of the 1995 double die obverse penny. In conclusion, the value and rarity of the 1995 double die obverse penny is undeniable. It is sought after by collectors and investors alike, and as time goes on, its value is likely to increase even further, making it a wise investment choice for those looking to diversify their coin collections. And also, if you are interested in getting into the world of coin collecting, it may be a good starter option if you're looking for one of the rare coins that isn't quite in the 5 or 6 figure range. The Lincoln Memorial Penny was first minted in the year 1959, marking the sesquicentennial anniversary of Abraham Lincoln's birth. The design was created by sculptor Frank Gasparo. The obverse of the coin features a profile of Abraham Lincoln, the 16th President of the United States. This design is a continuation of the likeness introduced on the wheat penny in the year 1909. The reverse showcases an image of the Lincoln Memorial, a prominent monument located in Washington, D.C. This memorial honors President Lincoln and serves as a national symbol. The composition of the coin has undergone modifications over the years. Initially, it was made of 95% copper and 5% zinc. However, rising metal costs led to changes. From the year 1982 onwards, the composition became primarily zinc with a thin copper plating. Throughout its long history, the Lincoln Memorial Penny series includes various mintage varieties, heirs, and notable coins that have captured the interest of collectors. Some of these examples include the 1972 double die variety and also the 1995 double die variety. The Lincoln Memorial Penny series concluded in the year 2008, making way for the next chapter in the Lincoln Cents design evolution. The Lincoln Memorial Penny series holds a special place in American numismatics. Its extended production period, coupled with the variety of mintages and issues, provides collectors with a diverse array of coins to pursue. While many of the coins in the series are readily available, certain key dates, mint marks, and other heirs and varieties are highly sought after by collectors. The series serves as a bridge between the earlier wheat penny era and the subsequent Lincoln bicentennial designs. Collectors often appreciate the historical and artistic elements of these coins, making the Lincoln Memorial Penny series a popular and accessible choice for numismatists of all levels. Now, the 1972 P double-dyed Lincoln Cent Type 1 stands as a prominent and highly sought-after variety within the extensive Lincoln Cent series. This particular coin possesses significance due to its distinct features, and among the numerous double dies associated with the 1972 Lincoln Cent, the Type 1 variation is deemed particularly noteworthy. The 1972 double-dyed Type 1 distinguishes itself through pronounced doubling, notably visible on all 4 digits of the date, exhibiting a distinct emphasis towards the southwest. This variety extends its doubled characteristics to the inscription Liberty, where the doubling effect is prominent in a southern direction. Also, the words "In God We Trust" on the obverse can display strong doubling towards the east, contributing to the overall unique and identifying nature of this variety. One of the key attributes of the 1972 P double-dyed Type 1 is its ease of identification. The robust doubling in specific areas, notably on the date, makes it readily discernible even to the unaided eye. This accessibility contributes significantly to its popularity among collectors and enthusiasts alike. The coin's distinctive features, coupled with the easy visibility, have elevated its desirability within the numismatic community. The collector community holds a keen interest in the 1972 P double-die Lincoln Cent Type 1, appreciating its uniqueness and historical significance. The variety's strong visual impact enhances its appeal, drawing numismatists who seek to enrich their collections with coins that boost aesthetic allure and rarity. As a major variety within the 1972 Lincoln Cent series, the Type 1 holds a special place in the hearts of collectors, aiming to assemble a comprehensive and distinguished set. Now, once again, to identify this coin, what you want to do is take a look at the date. Under a microscope would probably be a lot easier, and if it shows any doubling on the date, notably visibly all 4 digits of the date exhibiting a distinct emphasis towards the southwest direction, then you may just have yourself this 1972 Type 1. You also want to make sure that the coin does not have a mint mark indicating that it was struck at the Philadelphia Mint. Now, some of the details and specifications for this coin, if any of these are off, then it may indicate that it is not authentic. The coin was designed and engraved by Victor David Brenner and Frank Gasparo. The edge is plain, it has a diameter of 19 millimeters, a weight of 3.11 grams. You are looking for the Philadelphia Mint, meaning it will not have a mint mark, and the composition is 95% copper and 5% zinc. Given its popularity and status as a major variety, the 1972 P double-die Lincoln Cent Type 1 can carry notable market value. Collectors and investors often actively seek this coin, contributing to a competitive market for specimens in various conditions. The combination of historical significance, visual distinctiveness, and also widespread recognition ensures a steady demand for this remarkable variety. Now, because it is so modern, chances are it's not going to be worth a ton of money if it is beat up, worn, and at the bottom of the grading scale, but you still will probably get a premium for it, anywhere from a couple dollars to probably $10 if it is at the bottom of the grading scale. But the auction records actually start to kick in around the MS62 mark, where the auction record is actually set at $77. And then the highest known graded example that has sold at an auction was for $14,400, and that was for an MS67 red designated, and that was sold by Heritage Auctions in 2019. So $14,400 for an MS67. This is a fairly modern Lincoln set. You can still find 1972s in your pocket change or coin roll hunting easily. I actually live in Canada, and I've stumbled across many 1972 pennies in my hunts, so definitely keep your eyes open because you never know when you may be able to find a gem just like this. The 1972p double die Lincoln set emerges as a numismatic treasure celebrated for its strong doubling, easy identification, and widespread appeal among collectors and enthusiasts alike. Now, if you have any experience in American coins, odds are that you probably heard about the very legendary 1944 steel cent, which is considered one of the holy grails of the Lincoln Pennies. There are only a few examples known to exist. This coin has actually been featured on episodes of Pawn Stars, and they have sold for hundreds of thousands of dollars. To understand why the 1944 steel cent is so valuable, we need to go back 1 year and talk about one of the most misunderstood and overlooked coins in US history, the 1943 steel cent. Now, the reason that these coins exist at all is because of World War II. During World War II, the United States Mint needed to conserve copper for things like ammunition and military equipment. So in the year 1943, they made a drastic change. For 1 year and 1 year only, the United States Mint decided to strike Lincoln cents out of a zinc-coated steel alloy instead of the usual copper-based. These wartime pennies were made at all three mints, the Philadelphia, Denver, and San Francisco, and they looked and felt very different from regular pennies. For one, the 1943 steel cents are magnetic. They are also lighter at just 2.7 grams, and they have a silver gray sheen to them that most people will mistake for dimes. Even most vending machines at that time would reject them because their magnets would think that they were slugs. Another issue with these coins is the galvanization process didn't properly coat the edges, so these things rusted fast once they hit circulation. Despite all that, the United States Mint produced over 1 billion of them, and you will still find them in collection rolls and even your pocket change today. Now here's where it gets a lot more interesting. Even though the steel cents were only supposed to last for 1 year, some weird stuff happened around this transition. Another extremely rare and valuable American penny is the 1943 copper cent. This is considered another very rare Holy Grail Lincoln cent. There are only a few known examples. The 1943 copper cents were created under similar circumstances as the 1944 steel cents the next year. There were a few planchettes left over from the previous year that somehow managed to slip into the presses when the coins were being made. Currently, there's only about a dozen examples of the 1943 copper pennies known to exist, and one of them, a 1943D, sold for $1.7 million in the year 2010. And then there's what I would consider the sister coin to the 1943 copper penny, which is the 1944 steel cent. After the United States Mint switched back to copper in the year 1944, a handful of the steel planchettes from the year 1943 must have accidentally been left in some of the presses and machines. This resulted in a few 1944 pennies that were accidentally struck in steel and not the intended composition of copper as the rest of the pennies were struck in that year. One 1944 San Francisco Mint example sold for $373,000 at auction. These astronomical prices are what happens when an anomaly or mistake slips through the cracks during a major material change, and believe it or not, the story gets even weirder. In the year 2019, a collector actually discovered a 1943 cent struck on a tin-based planchette. This wasn't just plated or miscolored, it turned out to actually be composed of 86% tin. NGC authenticated it as a legitimate piece. It was possibly a test strike or an experimental pattern from late 1942 that somehow survived. The gentleman had actually found it in his dad's yard back in the year 1969 and only realized what he had decades later. The coin had 2 massive gouges and had even been straightened in a vise, but it still got slabbed and certified. So the 1943 steel cent isn't just a wartime curiosity, it's part of one of the most fascinating and chaotic chapters in US mint history. Between copper planchettes sneaking into presses, leftover steel blanks contaminating later years, experimental strikes in tin, and even counterfeits from people plating or shaving coins, the 1943 penny saga is just wild. And that brings us to one of the lesser known but very rare and valuable varieties that you can actually look for today and maybe even find, and that is the 1943 Denver Mint steel cent boldly doubled mint mark. The 1943D steel penny with a boldly doubled mint mark is also known in some collectors' circles as a repunched mint mark or an RPM. So what exactly is a boldly doubled mint mark or repunched mint mark? Now, the 1943 steel cent itself is famous because it is made of zinc-coated steel and was produced during World War II when the copper was reserved for the war effort. The D mint mark located on the coin will tell us that it came from the Denver Mint. Now, the mint mark was not part of the original coin design, but was added separately to the working dies. Back in the year 1943, mint workers added the D by hand punching the mint mark into each working die after the main design was completed. In some cases, mint workers would miss the exact spot on the first time and they just gave the mint mark a second punch to fix the alignment. But if that second punch didn't perfectly overlap the first, it created what we now recognize as a repunched mint mark. Unlike true double dies, where the entire design is doubled because of a flaw in the hubbing process, a repunched mint mark only affects the mint mark itself. It will visibly look like 2 D mint mark stamps on top of each other but slightly shifted. Now, the key with an RPM or repunched mint mark or boldly doubled mint mark is this doubling is not subtle or shadow-like. It is quite bold and distinct, and you can actually see the lower D peeking out from under the top one, often along the bottom curve or side. Now, why does such a small error matter for collectors? Every coin struck from that specific doubled mint mark die shows the same doubled D on the coin. So if you find one with this clear bold doubling, you have a genuine RPM variety, and this is both a known and documented error. It's not a one-off accident. In terms of coin varieties, repunched mint marks aren't considered to be extremely rare, but they definitely aren't common either. Many were struck and entered circulation, so you can find them if you're diligent and know what to look for, especially in collections, coin roll hunting, or bulk steel cent purchases. Now, the big catch with this coin is that condition matters a lot, and unfortunately, the 1943 steel cents corrode very easily. A worn 1943D steel cent with the boldly doubled mint mark could only bring a modest premium over one of the regular steel cents, but an uncirculated or high-grade example with clean, crisp doubling and minimal corrosion can be worth several hundreds of dollars, with top mint state coins reaching $1,000 or more. Now, to identify the 1943D boldly doubled mint mark, you want to throw the coin under a microscope or zoom in with your phone. Focus on the D mint mark, which is located on the obverse. Look carefully for a second D that is clearly offset or partially overlapping, and it should not appear overly flattened or smeared, as this would indicate that it is probably machine doubling and not an RPM. Machine doubling is caused by a loose die or shifting during the coin striking process. The nuances between machine doubling, double dies, and RPMs are quite intricate, but the boldly doubled mint mark or RPM should appear sharp, clear, and layered. The mint mark on coins like the 1943 D steel penny weren't included in the original hubbing of the coin's design. Hubbing is the process for which the designs that are later imprinted onto the coins are engraved into the dies. After the main design was transferred to the working dies for the 1943 steel penny, mint workers punched the mint mark in by hand. Since dies were used to strike thousands or even hundreds of thousands of coins, any mistake or doubling on the die was repeated on every coin that was struck subsequently. And that is why the visual appearance of this repunched mint mark will be quite consistent across different examples and is extremely collectible. When it comes to value, the 1943 Denver Mint boldly doubled mint mark steel penny covers a broad spectrum depending heavily on condition and grade. In worn or circulated conditions such as F12, you can expect to see these coins sell for around $40, which is a pretty solid premium considering you only paid 1 cent for the coin. Moving up to an uncirculated or near uncirculated example, the value jumps up quite significantly. For a very sharp MS65 or mint state example, it can be worth as much as $1,000 or more. It'll usually bring higher values if it has strong luster, clean surfaces, and minimal corrosion or spotting. Now, just an important note, this repunched mint mark variety is exceptionally rare in super high grades. According to PCGS, only 8 examples of this coin exist graded at MS67 or higher, and among them, a single MS67 piece stands out as the finest known example. This ultra rare MS67 coin actually made headlines when it sold at a 2005 Heritage auction for $9,775. And even more recently, it brought in $10,200 in a 2025 auction held in Baltimore. What makes these high-grade examples so valuable is not just their pristine condition, but also the boldness and clarity of the doubled mint mark. So whether you're coin roll hunting, looking through your pocket change, you purchase a bulk lot, or maybe inherited a collection, the 1943 D steel cent with a boldly doubled mint mark is definitely worth a closer look, even in lower grades. If you do happen to find one that is in really good condition, which would most likely come out of an uncirculated roll, it would be a game changer, potentially worth hundreds or even thousands of dollars. So whether a beginner or a seasoned collector, always keep your eyes peeled for that bold D doubling. The 1943 copper pennies, often referred to as the 1943 copper cents, are among the most famous and coveted rarities in the world of numismatics. To understand how rare these coins truly are and how they came into existence, we need to delve into the historical context of World War II and the US Mint's response to the wartime metal shortages. During World War II, there was a critical need for strategic metals such as copper, zinc, and nickel. To support the war effort, these metals were essential for producing ammunition, equipment, and other military supplies. To conserve these vital resources, the United States Mint undertook a significant change in the composition of 1-cent coins, commonly known as the penny. In 1943, the US Mint decided to transition from the traditional bronze composition of 95% copper and 5% zinc and tin used for pennies to a new composition made primarily of zinc-coated steel. This new plant called for steel planchettes. Instead of using the old copper planchettes, the mint would use steel planchettes coated with a thin layer of zinc to protect them from rust. The elimination of copper. The use of copper in penny production would be temporarily halted to allocate the metal for wartime needs. This transition aimed to free up substantial quantities of copper for military purposes and reduce costs associated with coin production. While the US Mint successfully transitioned to producing steel pennies in the year 1943, there were some unintended anomalies. In the midst of this major change in coin composition, a small number of planchettes intended for pennies were struck in copper rather than steel. The exact cause of this error remains unclear to this day, but it likely resulted from one of the following factors. Residual copper planchettes. Some copper planchettes from the previous year may have remained in the production process, inadvertently getting mixed in with the new steel planchettes. Lubrication mix-ups. The minting process requires lubrication to prevent the planchettes from sticking to the dies. It's possible that a lubrication mix-up led to the striking of these copper planchettes. Die cleaning. There were instances where copper planchettes, possibly mistaken for steel ones, were mistakenly loaded into the coin presses. Whatever caused the birth of these Holy Grail coins, the result was a limited number of 1943 pennies struck in copper, creating an extraordinary rarity in the world of coin collecting. It's estimated that only somewhere around 20 to 30 genuine 1943 copper pennies exist today, making them some of the most sought after and valuable coins in American coin collecting. These rare pieces occasionally surface in pocket change, estate collections, or are discovered by collectors, which adds to their mystique and allure. Collectors and enthusiasts continue to be captivated by this coin, not only because of its scarcity, but also because it represents a unique and fascinating chapter in the history of US coinage. Copper pennies dated 1943 are indeed an enigmatic and rare find, considering that they were intended to be crafted from zinc-plated steel during World War II. The existence of these copper pennies, while scarce, is a matter of sheer luck if you do happen to discover one in your pocket change. Remarkably, despite their scarcity, finding one today still remains possible, but with this penny, for every legitimate example, there are thousands of counterfeits that are out there, so if you do encounter one these days, chances are it is probably a counterfeit. But you should always get it checked if you find a coin like this, at least get a second opinion by taking it to your local coin shop or sending it off to be graded. Now, some of the backstory behind the discovery of this coin. Kenneth S. Wing, a teenage coin collector hailing from Long Beach, California, ventured to create opportunities for his collection by meticulously examining the dates on the pennies he encountered in everyday pocket change, or as we call it nowadays, he was a coin roll hunter. His ambitious goal was to assemble a complete collection of Lincoln cents. His passion for collecting knew no bounds. He even persuaded his parents to acquire rolls of pennies from the bank for his inspection. His diligent search resulted in the discovery of an almost complete collection of wheat cents in circulation, including the elusive 1922 plain variety. Of all of the amazing coins he did find, he never discovered the 1909S VDB cent, but still, Wing's relentless pursuit of rare coins bore fruit in an unexpected way. In the year 1944, when Kenneth Wing was only 14 years old, he made a remarkable discovery. That discovery was a 1943 S penny, but it was made of copper rather than the expected zinc-coated steel. Instantly recognizing this coin's exceptional nature, he took it to a local coin dealer who made a generous offer of $500 at the time. However, Kenneth declined the offer, driven by a desire to uncover the truth about this incredibly unique penny. His quest for knowledge led him to correspond with numerous coin experts and authorities over the ensuing decades. One of the most intriguing pieces of correspondence came from the US Mint itself. In a letter dated August 20th, 1946, US Acting Mint Director Leland Howard stated that there were no copper cents struck during the calendar year in 1943 at any of the coinage mints. Only the zinc-coated steel cent was struck during that year. Despite the official response, now 16-year-old Kenneth Wing persevered, determined to validate what he knew in his heart, that the United States Mint had indeed struck this copper penny. Wing's tenacity eventually paid off. In the year 1948, he showed his 1943S copper cent to the director of the San Francisco Mint, who privately confirmed its authenticity. Another attempt in 1957 by Wing's father to have the coin examined by the US Treasury Department resulted in a referral to the Smithsonian Institute. It still remains a mystery why officials from the Treasury Department or the Mint initially hesitated to authenticate this rare coin. Fortunately, experts at the Smithsonian believed in the coin's authenticity. In a June 18, 1957 letter, Klain Stefanelli, curator of the Division of Numismatics at the Smithsonian, stated, "The authenticity of this piece is, in my opinion, beyond doubt." This sentiment was corroborated by Mr. Mendel L. Peterson, acting head curator of the Department of History. While Kenneth Wing received validation from experts at the Smithsonian, the coin collecting community remained largely unaware of this extraordinary specimen. It wasn't actually until the year 2008, long after Wing's passing, that his heirs sought to authenticate the coin through Stephen Kutaresi of Rare Coin Wholesalers. Initially skeptical, Kutaresi performed a simple magnet test which revealed that the coin did not behave like a copper-plated steel cent. He then sent the coin to NGC for authentication. NGC confirmed the coin to be genuine and assigned it a grade of AU53. Due to the extreme rarity of this type of coin and also its classification as a classic mint heir, the coin grading company NGC incorporated special designations on the holder, including the Kenneth S. Wing Jr. collection. It's essential to note that there are only about a dozen genuine 1943 copper cents known to exist and accounted for, with examples from the San Francisco Mint being the rarest. Eventually, the company Rare Coin Wholesalers purchased the coin for $72,500. It was then sold at Heritage Auctions in January 2018 for $228,000. When it comes to coins like this, their rarity is only exceeded by their value, and there are few coins in the world of numismatics that can exceed the rarity and value of the 1943S copper penny. What do you guys think about the 1943 copper pennies? What would you do if you ever found a legitimate example, or if you ever have found any of the coins mentioned in this video? Let me know down in the comments. I would love to know. Also, don't forget to smash that thumbs up, subscribe if you're new, and also ring that bell notification so you can stay up to date with my new content as it is being released. But I think that is pretty much going to do it for this one, folks. So until the next one, everybody, peace out and have a good one, y'all.